All right, so ready to dive into something pretty interesting.
Always.
Okay, great. Because this one, I think you'll like this one. This one has a little bit of everything. We're going to the Nevada desert back to 1962,
Okay.
Las Vegas.
I like it already.
Yeah, an event that to this day people are still kind of debating and speculating about.
Right.
A mysterious crash, shrouded in secrecy.
Oh.
And the question is, was it just a mundane incident, or did something really extraordinary happen in the skies above Sin City?
Ooh. Okay, so we're talking about a potential UFO crash here in 62.
That's what we're looking into.
I'm intrigued. What makes this particular event so interesting, though? There are a lot of UFO stories out there.
Well, I think one of the things that makes this one stand out is the context, right? It's 1962.
Okay.
The Cold War is going on.
Right.
Tensions are high between the U.S. and the Soviet Union.
Yeah, everyone's on edge, looking at the skies.
Exactly. And suddenly, you have this fiery object plunging from the sky near Vegas.
Oh, wow. That's quite a juxtaposition. The glitz and glamour of Vegas, and then this mysterious event.
It's a recipe for intrigue, right? And of course, it didn't take long for rumors to start swirling, and the story just kind of took on a life of its own.
Well, people love a good mystery, especially one that involves something as potentially groundbreaking as alien life, right?
Exactly. Especially, I think, when you have eyewitness accounts.
Oh, okay, so there were people who saw something that night?
Oh, yeah. We have eyewitness accounts from people who were actually there. And their stories, I mean, they paint a pretty crazy picture of, like, chaos and confusion.
I can imagine.
Some describe, like, feeling their houses shake from, this massive explosion in the early morning hours.
Whoa.
And others recall seeing a, like, blinding light,
Oh, wow.
unlike anything they had ever seen before,
Okay.
streaking across the sky and then just disappearing in a fiery blaze.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So you've got people feeling it, seeing it.
Oh, yeah. Just beyond the city limits.
Okay. So it wasn't like right over the strip or something.
Right. It wasn't like right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
But still close enough for people to experience it.
Close enough to get everyone's attention.
Exactly. And what I find fascinating is the variety of these accounts.
Oh,
Right?
so it wasn't just one person seeing this?
No. It wasn't just a single person. It was
Well-
like a chorus of voices.
Okay.
Each one adding, a piece to the puzzle.
Like a collective gasp from the city.
Right. And this is where things get, like, even more interesting.
Yeah, a bit more interesting. Okay, lay it on me.
Because some witnesses reported seeing figures,
Yeah.
like actual figures, emerge from the wreckage.
Wait, hold on. Figures. Like
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah. Adding an extra layer of mystery.
Oh, wow. Okay, so now we're not just talking about a strange light or a crash. We're talking about potential occupants.
It's like something out of a movie, a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, that definitely takes it up a notch on the intrigue scale.
And then, people also reported hearing unusual sounds,
Ugh.
like strange occurrences near the crash site.
Like what kind of sounds? What do you mean by strange occurrences?
We'll get into that, but it definitely wasn't your typical night in Vegas.
Okay, so we've got a crash, potential figures emerging from the wreckage, weird sounds, all happening near Las Vegas at the height of the Cold War.
It's a lot to unpack.
That's an understatement. So with all this happening, how did the authorities respond? They must have been freaking out, right?
Oh, yeah, they definitely reacted.
Okay.
I mean, their reaction was swift.
Okay.
And some might say a bit heavy-handed.
Oh.
I mean, military personnel and
Yeah.
law enforcement.
Okay.
They descended on the crash site,
All right.
pretty much sealed it off from the public.
Oh, wow. So they really went into lockdown mode.
Yeah. And their official statement,
Okay. What did they say caused all of this?
a weather balloon malfunction?
A weather balloon? Come on. With all those people seeing something crash, hearing weird noises, and even figures? A weather balloon?
I know. It does seem a little too simple, doesn't it?
A little bit. Especially considering the dramatic accounts from those who, actually witnessed the event.
Right. And it makes you wonder, during the Cold War, was it common practice for governments to just, use explanations like weather balloon to maybe mask more covert activities?
That's a great question, and it's definitely something we should explore further.
Yeah. Because secrecy and misinformation were kind of tools of the trade back then.
Right, with the Cold War and everything, there was a lot going on behind the scenes.
Right. The public was already on edge.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I think any incident that could be perceived as a threat to national security was handled very carefully.
I bet. So, well, we can't say for sure that the government was, covering something up.
Right.
It's certainly a possibility that's fueled a lot of speculation for decades.
And that leads us to the heart of this deep dive,
All right,
right?
get to the good stuff.
Was it really just a weather balloon that crashed in the Nevada desert that night?
Right.
Or was there something more to this story?
Or was it something else entirely?
Something that the government might have had a real big interest in keeping quiet.
Ooh, a cover-up.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that is the question, isn't it? That's the million-dollar question, I guess.
Right. What was it?
What was it? And that's where things get really interesting, I think.
Well, let's dive into some of the theories
Okay.
that have emerged over the years about what this could have been.
Right.
One possibility that's gained some traction is the idea of a military experiment
Okay.
gone wrong.
All right.
We know that Area 51,
Right.
which is a highly classified military base,
Of course, yeah.
is located not too far from the crash site.
It's pretty close.
So could it be that something that was being tested there,
Okay.
perhaps like an experimental aircraft,
Right.
malfunctioned and caused this spectacle in the sky?
It's possible, right? I mean, during the Cold War,
Yeah.
both the U.S. and the Soviet Union were really pushing the boundaries of
yeah.
aviation technology. They were developing new aircraft with, advanced capabilities.
Right.
And it's conceivable that something could have gone wrong
Yeah,
during a test flight.
absolutely.
And, we have to remember that stealth technology, which is commonplace today,
Yeah.
was in its very early stages back then.
Right.
So imagine the reaction if the prototype stealth aircraft, something the public had never even seen before,
Right.
suddenly appeared in the sky above Vegas.
That would definitely explain, I think, a lot of the UFO sightings.
Oh, absolutely. People wouldn't have had any frame of reference for
No.
what they were seeing.
They wouldn't know what they're looking at.
Exactly. They'd be like, what is that thing?
But there's another layer to this theory, too,
Okay.
that ties directly into the Area 51 connection.
Okay.
Some people believe that whatever crashed that night
Right.
wasn't just a terrestrial aircraft,
Okay.
but something far more extraordinary.
Okay. So we're going even deeper down the rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
All right. I'm listening.
We're talking about the possibility of like a captured extraterrestrial craft,
Whoa.
something that maybe had been housed or studied at Area 51,
Okay.
somehow breaking free and crashing in the desert.
So, they had an alien spacecraft locked up in Area 51, and it escaped.
That's the theory.
And that plays into the long-standing belief that the government has been, concealing evidence of alien contact.
Right.
And that Area 51 is like the central hub
Right.
of this whole secret operation.
Exactly.
It's a classic conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and it's the theory that's captured the imaginations of a lot of people.
It has, for sure.
I mean, the idea that we're not alone in the universe,
Right.
that there might be other intelligent beings out there,
Yeah.
it's always been intriguing.
It's a big question, right? Are we alone?
And
Wow.
what better place to hide such a secret
Right.
than this remote, top-secret military base?
Area 51, the place of legends.
Yeah, in the middle of the Nevada desert.
I mean, I get why people would believe that, right?
Right.
It's like the perfect setting for a government cover-up.
It really is.
But, we have to acknowledge that this theory relies on a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no concrete evidence
Right.
to actually suggest that the government has a crashed alien spacecraft,
Right.
let alone that it was at Area 51.
Right.
But the lack of definitive answers,
Yeah.
combined with, all the secrecy surrounding the incident,
Yeah.
it's created a lot of room for speculation.
It really has.
People love to fill in the blanks,
So we have these two intriguing possibilities.
Okay.
A secret military experiment gone wrong,
Right.
or maybe something even more extraordinary.
Okay.
A captured alien craft escaping from Area 51.
That's a tough choice.
It is. It's like we're choosing between these two doors,
Okay.
and each one leads to a fascinating,
Right.
yet unproven explanation.
Like a choose-your-own-adventure story for UFO enthusiasts.
Right.
But there is another option, another door. The one that I think a lot of people actually find the most compelling,
Okay, what's that?
the possibility that what crashed that night was an actual alien spacecraft making its first
Right.
and unfortunately final visit to Earth.
Now that's a thought that gives me
Oh, you
chills.
said one, right.
A craft from another world
Yeah,
traveling across the vastness of space,
right.
only to meet its end in the Nevada desert.
It's almost poetic in a way.
It is. I mean, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Right. It's a great premise.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe truth is stranger than fiction.
That's what keeps us coming back to these stories, right?
That's what keeps us going.
The possibility that maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
something truly extraordinary happened.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
That's out there.
And that's the beauty of this mystery, I think.
Right.
It forces us to confront the unknown,
Yeah.
to grapple with possibilities that are just beyond our current understanding.
It's like it stretches the boundaries of our imagination.
It does, it does.
We might never know for sure
Right.
what happened that night.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Exploring these different theories,
Right.
weighing the evidence and forming our own conclusions,
Yeah.
that's all part of the fun.
It's a journey.
It is. A journey of the mind.
But let's shift gears for a second
Okay.
and think about the impact this event had on the people who actually lived through it.
Okay.
You know, the people in Vegas.
Yeah.
Must have been quite an experience for them.
Yeah, you're right.
Imagine, living in this city,
Yeah.
known for its bright lights,
Right.
entertainment,
The shows, the casinos.
Yeah, and just that kind of carefree atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
Boom.
you have this unexplained event,
Right.
rumors of strange beings,
Yeah.
and a government that seems really reluctant to give any clear answers.
That would definitely shake things up a bit.
It would. I mean, it would create this sense of unease,
Yeah.
a feeling that something was just off.
For sure, like a disruption in the force, almost.
Yeah, like the world had just tilted on its axis
Yeah.
and shattered that kind of illusion of normalcy.
I bet the rumor mill was working overtime.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone trying to figure out what happened,
exactly.
what they saw, what it meant.
And I imagine that the crash site itself became a focal point
Oh, yeah.
for all sorts of curiosity and speculation.
It's like a moth to a flame.
Yeah.
People are drawn to the unknown,
Oh, yeah,
the mysterious,
especially something as big as this.
especially when it's right in their backyard.
That's exactly what happened, though.
Oh.
The crash site became this magnet
Right.
for curiosity seekers,
Of course.
amateur investigators,
Yeah.
anyone hoping to catch a glimpse of something extraordinary
Right.
or, uncover the truth that they believe
Yeah.
the government was hiding.
Makes you wonder what they found, if anything, or
Oh.
thought they found.
Right. It's fascinating how a single event can just spark this
Yeah.
wave of curiosity and
Make it
intrigue.
it's like throwing a rock in a pond.
Yeah.
The ripples just keep spreading out,
And the legacy of this Las Vegas UFO crash
right?
extends far beyond those initial reactions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's become like a cultural touchstone,
Mm-hmm.
a story that continues to be told,
Yeah.
retold,
Yeah.
debated,
Yeah.
analyzed.
It's a story that refuses to die.
It does, even decades later.
It just goes to show the power of a good mystery, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's a reminder that even in our age
Yeah.
of advanced technology and scientific understanding,
Right.
there are still mysteries that elude us,
For sure.
events that challenge our perceptions
Yeah.
and leave us wondering
What really happened?
what truly lies beyond the veil.
The veil of our everyday experience.
Exactly.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's those unanswered questions
Right.
that really ignite our curiosity
Yeah.
and drive us to explore, to investigate,
Yeah.
to seek knowledge beyond just the ordinary.
Absolutely. It's that pursuit of knowledge,
Yeah.
that desire to understand the world around us.
It's a fundamental human drive, I think.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
As much as we enjoy
Right.
exploring these possibilities,
Yeah.
we also need to consider the attempts to kind of debunk the more fantastical claims
Okay.
surrounding this Las Vegas crash.
Yeah, let's take a look at the other side of the coin.
Right? Because there are people who say, no, this was not a UFO.
Right, the skeptic.
This was not an alien spacecraft.
They have their reasons, too.
They do.
We need to hear them out.
We have to look at all sides.
Exactly. We need to be objective
Right.
and examine the evidence, or at least what we have that might be considered evidence,
Yeah.
with a critical eye.
All right. So we've looked at the theories and we've heard from the believers. But what about the skeptics?
Right, because there are always those who say, hold on a minute, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. What do they say about the Las Vegas crash?
Well, over the years, there have been plenty of attempts to kind of debunk the more outlandish claims.
Okay.
Try to bring the story back down to earth,
Right, back down to a more rational explanation.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those arguments, they make a lot of sense, actually.
Okay.
For example, critics, they often point out the inconsistencies in eyewitness accounts.
Yeah, I can see that. It was a chaotic event. It happened fast. It was dark, and people were startled.
Right. It's easy to see how details might get a little mixed up or maybe even exaggerated as the story gets told and retold.
And memories are fragile things.
They are, absolutely. And then there's the lack of physical evidence.
Right. If a spacecraft, alien or otherwise, actually did crash in the desert, you'd expect to find something, right?
You would think so, yeah. More than just some scorched earth and rumors.
Right. Something tangible.
Right, like debris or some kind of material that's not from around here.
Exactly. And that kind of lack of hard proof does make it a little
Okay.
difficult to really back up the more extraordinary theories.
It does. It makes it hard to say definitively, yes, this is what happened. And we also have to consider the advancements in science and technology since 1962.
Right. What might have seemed completely unexplainable back then could have a much more plausible explanation today.
Exactly, exactly. We have a better understanding of weather phenomena, radar technology. We even know more about experimental aircraft and their capabilities.
So are you saying that there's a chance that what people saw that night, it could all be explained by something pretty normal, something we just didn't understand at the time?
I think it's definitely a possibility. Maybe it was a combination of things. Maybe an unusual weather event, a misidentified aircraft, a little bit of mass hysteria thrown in. Sometimes, the simplest explanation really is the most likely one. But even with all the debunking efforts, there's still that little seed of doubt, isn't there?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like yeah, but what if? That
Yeah.
little voice in the back of your head saying, what if there's more to the story?
It's a good question. Yeah, what if? What if there is more to the story? And I think that's where critical thinking comes in, right?
Absolutely. We can't just blindly accept everything we hear, especially when we're dealing with events like this, surrounded by mystery and speculation.
Yeah, shrouded in secrecy.
Exactly. We need to be discerning. We need to evaluate the evidence, consider all the different viewpoints, and ultimately, come to our own conclusions.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the Las Vegas UFO crash, I mean, what are some of the key takeaways for our listeners? What can we learn from this event, regardless of whether we believe it involved extraterrestrials or not?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway really is just the importance of curiosity.
Okay.
The Las Vegas crash, whatever it was, it ignited a sense of wonder in people. It made them question, it made them want to explore those boundaries of possibility, and it got people talking, got them thinking and debating.
And it's a good reminder, I think, that the universe is full of mysteries
Oh, for sure.
and that the pursuit of knowledge, it's an ongoing journey. It's a process.
Absolutely. It never really ends. And even if the Las Vegas crash ends up having a totally normal explanation,
Yeah.
it's a testament to the power of the unknown.
Right.
To capture our imaginations, to inspire us, to look for those answers. It reminds us that there's still so much out there that we just don't understand, and that's a good thing.
Well said. Well said. So to our listeners out there, we leave you with this. What do you believe happened that night in 1962? Was it a simple weather balloon? Was it a secret government experiment? Or is it something truly extraordinary? The answer, well, it might just remain a mystery, but the journey of exploring those possibilities, that's what really matters. Keep questioning, keep searching, and never lose that sense of wonder. Until next time, happy deep diving.